Hello, whoa, it's just my face. Shit, I forgot. Hello, guys. DeanoCantino here. Mr. Pace has got some technical difficulties with his video, but his audio should be perfect. My brother, how are
I'm
you?
here, I'm here. What's up, guys? What's up? Sorry you can't see my face. I don't want to look like Dino did last week, so can't see me now.
That's good news. Good news. Welcome to everyone. I hope your week was good. You had an even better weekend, so that is absolutely perfect. Okay, just a quick rundown on the schedule this evening. We'll be going through the daily races, the FIA. We'll do a Manu race guide and a Nations lap guide as well. Go through the races. Then what we're gonna have is an interview with the GTSSA ladies race winner, both herself and her husband, which is Annelies and Devil Brits. You'll know him as Brits Finnach. They're also joining us here in the party. And then after that, we'll do the lap guides, like I said. And then after that, we'll have a little advertorial, and we'll have an interview with Flavius Buttress, Mr. Princess Fluffy Butts himself, who changed his PSN recently to DMR. Take note, DMR Fluffy Butt. And yeah, then we'll have the moment of the week. Stay tuned, some awesome racing for the moment of the week. And then we'll also have the Chatbox Cup race this evening at 8 o'clock after this 1 hour segment. So awesome stuff. Glad to have you guys here. Please like, subscribe below, share this to your family and friends. Let's get the viewers up. Awesome stuff. Caleb, you want to run us through?
Cool, so daily race B from last week. I'm not quite, I think it was Mount Panorama in the Group 3 cars. I actually did do a bit of laps in prep for an upcoming segment that will be featured quite shortly. But as you can see, the top times are 2011 around Mount Panorama in the Lexus RCF, which is quite an interesting car. Very, very grunty, very good speed on the straights, and really nice through the corners. So really interesting to see that car up there. And yeah, let's move to the SA times. So obviously Dino's become a bit more popular nowadays with these SS drivers at the top here. Nonetheless, we got Mr. Ghost Killer, one of the newer names on the list at 202596 in the Viper SRT. So American Muscle going really quickly around the Mount Panorama. So big ups to him. HRA Megatron, another new face there, with a 2027. Mr. Eleanor Bob Luxem, the Buttfight himself, with his Corvette C7 with the 2029. All the way down to Mr. Richard Foree in the V12 Vantage with the 2033. So very, very quick times, I must say, for this track. If I'm not mistaken, it was racing hard tires. And yeah, just really, really cool to see that you guys are also still taking part. Yeah, Jazz 126 in his V12 Vantage at 2031. Really quick, guys. Awesome stuff to see. So let's move on to the FIAs now. So yeah, sorry about that, guys, that there wasn't daily race A and daily race B. Dino woke up a little bit too late this morning, so that's why we only have daily race B's time sheets. Nonetheless, FIA nation standings at the moment, we can see Mr. Sunburn Donkey top of SA with 1,277 points. Big ups, Donkey. You should see him very shortly for the nation's lap guide. In fourth there, we've got Mr. Leap ZA with 954. Come on, Leap, we need to get you over that 1,000 mark, mate. As well as you, Mr. Mikhailo 5, our reigning king of the ring, who looks like he's defending his championship. So let's get him up there. 924 points for him. Serious Sam, 896. Mr. Travis with 880 points. SMP Pro with 827. Yasteel with 772, sorry. And then Sprinkler, as always, 747 points. And Henny Bears, a new feature there with 745 points. Big ups, guys. Let's keep pushing with these FIA nations.
Awesome stuff. Let's get a look at the menu. Mr. Pacey, what do you think about these standings currently?
So Manu, if I'm not mistaken, now they're counting all the way up to round 19. So a few of us got a bit extra points from our previous races. So as you can see, Mr. Not Stinky with 1,350 points. Big ups, brother, for Subaru there. Myself with 1,251. You can see I haven't done many races since.
Blah.
19 or 20 will be races that I am quite excited to do. Mr. DeanoCantino still featuring right up there with 1,086 points. Well done, Dino. GTP, GTI for Nissan as well. He's got 940 points. Big ups. GTRSA, DMRAM Racing in the background here, or both on 891 and 879 points respectively.
Beautiful.
JOO Pace, the new Pace Motorsports recruit with 857 points for Nissan. Again, Sprinkler is on the manufacturers list with 828 points. Bruv, I think you should just leave Nations and do manufacturers. You've got more points here. And then Mr. Slayer for Toyota with 820 points. Let's keep it up, guys. If you've noticed as well, with Nations and manufacturers, you can see that the guys that are at top of the lists are your Pool 1 guys. So, guys, let's keep pushing, keep getting there, and hopefully we'll see some new faces.
Yeah, I agree with you. I see a lot of people are pushing there. And the next two races for many should be quite interesting. The Red Bull Ring Short Track, never driven this track before. And then your Nürburgring race for Thursday, which is Saturday's FI Manu Nürburgring 24. I'm sure all the King of the Ring manufacturers, GDSSA participants are looking forward for this.
Yeah, definitely. I actually took a bit of time with my car on that track, and it's a bit sketchy, hey? We're going to see how these guys do hard tires, eh? But yeah, look out for the Manu lap guide from myself very shortly.
Yeah, perfect. Can you run us through the next race, which will be taking part on Wednesday, Mr. Pace?
So Wednesday is the Red Bull Ring short track around for the manufacturer series. It is quite a quick race. It's going to be really interesting with racing softs all the way to racing hards. There's no tire requirement, which is quite strange for an FIA race. But yeah, we're going to see.
Not going to be too much of an issue, I think, unless you have fuel guzzling cars, but 6 and 6. And also you can have your racing softs while racing hards, and I believe racing hards are compulsory. So the GR1 guy is definitely taking us through, and obviously our number one in Nations at the moment. And our top FIA points leader at the moment, the sunburnt donkey himself, will be giving us a Nations lap guide on this track shortly as well. So we're definitely looking forward to that from him, as well as the manufacturer's lap guide and Red Bull Ring short track from yourself, Mr. Pace. Both of our 100%. Champions representing. I absolutely love it, guys. You can't learn from anyone better than this. Champion of the last season, champion of the season just before that.
Yep. Cool. So guys, the next segment that we're going to do, recently, last week Friday, we had GTSSA that handled a GT Sport Ladies. They challenged the GT Sport Ladies to take part in a one-off race around the Red Bull Ring in GR4 cars. And we are joined tonight by the winners of that race, the coach, Mr. Dewald Brits, otherwise known as Brits Vinnig, and Miss Annelies Brits. Welcome, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Hi.
Awesome stuff. So, quick questions just for you guys in regards to the race that took place last week Friday. First thing to you, Annelies, how was the race for you, and how long did you have to practice for?
I must say, I don't think I've ever been as nervous about anything in my life as I was for this race. But, when the nerves started calming after about 3 or 4 laps, it was absolutely awesome. And I just had a lot of fun.
That's great to hear. And the same question to you, Dewald, sitting in the background there. How did you find the race that your wife took part in, and how long did you make her practice for?
On the practice side, there weren't much practice going on. We actually
really?
I didn't get confirmation from her that she was really going to do it. I informed her a bit earlier about it, and then Friday I reminded her, but again didn't get confirmation. But then about 7:30 we switched on the PlayStation. So she had about half an hour's practice till we started to try and get into the lobby.
Yeah.
And that was it. The hardest part for me was to try and not to give too much advice and comments while she was busy. Because I knew that would be very welcoming, but it was difficult, yeah.
From our side then, have you driven then before in order for you to have arrived and drived and still have that pace?
No, actually not. But I mean, I've been married to a husband for almost 20 years that just got such a passion for driving. So motorsport's always kind of been, part of what we are. But I've never done this before, never done an online race or raced against actual human beings. The most of what I did so far was participating in a lot of the licenses. But that was basically it.
Oh, amazing. Awesome stuff.
Yeah,
so,
basically,
quick one. Carry on,
Yeah, for every Gran Turismo game that came out, she would join in the beginning and, like she said, do the licenses and missions and things like that. After that, she would lose a bit of interest. Most of the licenses and missions and things on the game and left it there. So yeah, in terms of actual racing and especially against other people, there's no real history on that.
100%. So next question I wanted to ask you guys, well, especially to Annelies, what is the most annoying thing about the race for you?
Having the need to go and pee and not be able to.
You sound like me during an endurance race.
We actually, after the race on Friday, when some of the ladies joined us on the live chat, we had a good laugh about this, where the discussion was around, what did you do before, what did you do during, what did you do after, and the basic answer from all the ladies was we needed to pee. But in terms of the race, I can honestly say that there was nothing that annoyed me. I think I was too nervous to be annoyed by anything else.
But that makes sense though why you drove so fast, because you're probably trying to finish the race as you run to the loo.
Absolutely.
And then last question for you from my side is, would you be willing to do more racing like this, knowing that you are quite quick and you can win the races?
Oh, absolutely. I really didn't know what to expect going into this. So for me, it was basically like what Devil said, arrive and drive. I really was just going for having a bit of fun and seeing if there would be ladies that would be interested in it. But I suppose if the prospect of winning is on the cards, then it's always a bit of extra motivation to maybe make you put in a little bit more.
That's awesome stuff. Awesome stuff, Tia. One question from chat we've got is, what's your favorite car?
Definitely the car that I've always loved the most, a Fair Lady, my 350Z.
Oh, interesting. Deonvald, we can see why you put a ring on it there. The 350Z's are a really awesome car, brother. To Deonvald, there's a question in chat. How's it driving without TC going in him?
Not quite there yet. Sometimes it's on, sometimes it's off.
100%. Okay, cool. And then same to you, Deonvald, would you be willing to allow your wife to do more racing?
Oh, definitely. I think it's more the fun factor than really going with the idea of winning. Obviously, a win is always nice. I myself win very seldom. But hats off to her on her first attempt on that. So I think that the first thing is to have the fun. If it gets too competitive, you lose a bit of that. But no, I'll definitely support her all the way if there's more of this to come.
Great stuff. Big thanks to you, Deonvald, and to you, Annelies, for joining us tonight. Hopefully we do see Annelies again more on track in her own profile this time. Annelies Brits, I don't know what you're going to give a PSN to that, but guys, thanks so much for joining, and good luck in future. Hopefully we do see you on track again.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks a lot for joining in, guys, and good luck. And the next time when you guys race, make sure that Deonvald is far away.
I have to say, for the first time, I got a new meaning to the word backseat driver.
And a lot of ladies think that we You can quickly give me attention for that 2 seconds. It's not like a shooting game or something where you're busy running until you get the enemy action for 5 seconds. Yeah, you can't lose your attention for 0.2 or 0.5 of a second and you're off track. So I just hope a lot of the ladies now understand that we don't shush or shun while we're busy driving for no reason at all. It really takes all your concentration.
Yes, definitely.
Awesome stuff.
Cool.
Awesome stuff. Right, guys, so thanks a lot for Mr. Deewald, Brits Vinnig en Annelies, Brits Vinnig, Sim Fatal, Mrs. Vinnig. So beautiful stuff. Thanks a lot for joining us, guys. Have yourself a wonderful evening, and we'll keep tabs on what will be going on with the next race, etc. from Stephen. I'm assuming this time it will be planned better, and there'll be better commentating, much more exciting, not like a golf match or a 5-day test cricket match. They get some of the more lively in it because shots fired for sure, guys. I mean, the ladies' licenses everywhere. I think 80% of the discussion was just about, I don't know, everything else but the racing. But yeah, so awesome stuff. We definitely make sure we get it on. I'll see if my wife can still be convinced after the annoying stuff we had. But yeah, thanks a lot for joining, guys. So next up is going to be the lap guide from Mr. Sunburn Donkey of the Nations Cup with the GR1 at Laguna Seca. Mr. Donkey, how are you, my brother? Are you ready for us?
Yeah, I'm good.
Well,
ready to go.
Good, Mr. Good. Let's do this. Let's go.
This bit down is going to take us past turn 1.
It's okay.
All good. So Nations race is around Laguna Seca, GR1 cars, right?
Correct, GR1. And as always, the hybrid cars are cleaning up at the moment.
Yep.
And you pretty much have 2 choices when it comes to the hybrids. It seems in this game at the moment, and it's either the Audi or the Toyota.
Okay.
And that is also based on what you want out of the race. Okay, so
look at this man going donuts, bragging.
Coming into turn 1, you want to be braking just before the 3 mark, just before the line. And you'll be downshifting, going to second with this car. You can go to first if you want to get the rotation, but you mightn't settle it. And the trick to this corner is not stopping dead, but maintaining momentum through the turn and getting on the accelerator as soon as possible on the exit. This car's got very harsh, curve system, the hybrid system. So in second gear you can understeer. 2 ways to fix that is just half throttle till you're straight and then plant it, or go upshift to third gear. The Audi is a diesel, so it's very torquey, so you can short shift. You don't actually lose speed. Okay, coming into the right-hander, you want to apply the brakes here next to this drain grid. You will be in 4th gear, you can go down to 3rd. And the trick of Laguna Seca is maximizing the track. So turn in from the end of the apex, almost touching the sausage here, and at about here you want to start applying the throttle. Just about at every sausage curve is where you want to start accelerating. If you accelerate after that, your line is not correct or you're going in too fast. Coming into the 4th turn, just lift off, maybe a little bit of brake, try and get it close to the sausage and accelerate out. There you can see the hybrid pushing me wide. And then over here you want to brake just at the 2. And very important, your turning point is this little white triangle. You want to turn in at this white triangle from the apex. Get the car to touch around here. You really want to touch the apex. You want to touch the curb and start accelerating from here. If you go wide, you just lose time. You miss the banking of the turn. Really important. And you will run all the way to the outside. On this turn, it's a ton of time. You'll be approaching in 4th. Step off the accelerator, just a little bit of brake, just touch it, and then from about here turn in. When you hit the apex is when you start accelerating again. In the race you won't take such a big chance. In qualifying and your fast laps, your time trial laps, that's where you can really attack it and get used to it. Coming up to the corkscrew, you're going to brake just before the 300 meter, just before the line. Go slightly over, straight line you're braking. Go into second, cut the curb, and cut the curb over here. Don't go 2 wheels onto the green, you will get a penalty. And 2 ways you can do this. You can short shift into third. It's easier, maybe better on worn tires. On your fast lap, you can try and control second gear. When you get to this long sweep, you'll be in fourth, and all you really need to do is attack it, just let go of the accelerator, and go get back on the accelerator again. That will be enough. This turn, the sun is going to block your view at this time of day, but for this right-hander, at the 2 is where you're going to apply a little bit of braking. You'll downshift to third, and again, yeah, very, very important to make the curb. It really helps you to get around the turn. Big importance of this track is when you touch the sausages, you pretty much die. It's the end of the lap.
But
on
did
the high
you
downforce
die?
yeah, we all know this. On the high downforce cars, it's not as bad. You can recover. Just back off a bit. The downforce gets you back onto the tarmac, and 9 out of 10 times with high downforce cars, you will actually recover. So before you start your lap, what you really want to do is make sure your battery is fully charged. So you can just keep your foot on the brake and the accelerator at the same time, get the battery charging.
That's what you guys do.
I like to start in second gear, yeah. So let's try a lap. It's a very tricky track. The lap doesn't always work out. So everybody knows this.
Covering yourself before you mess up. Wow, nice land here.
A little bit slow through there, just touch the sausage curve there.
Are you planning on doing this race on Wednesday, Donkey?
So I don't know. This
You're allowed to say no.
No, but I like the track and car combo, but it's a very fun hot lap type of scenario where it's fun to extract most out of the car and out of the track, but in terms of racing, if you're not in pole position, you're gonna just outbrake myself, and that's cost me half a second right there.
That's fine, so it can just be by all of our other times, it's okay.
So got a question here from in chat. So there's no VGTs, not even the Tomahawk that's going to take part in this race, you think?
The VGTs don't seem to feature. The hybrids are so strong and there's not insane top speed. So as you can see with the Audi, my hybrid is finished now. The Audi is pretty much a one-lap hybrid. The Toyota might be better for race pace, but the problem with that is that there's only 2 real hard braking zones in this track. So it doesn't matter what car you have, you don't really recover hybrid at all. It's very bad for hybrid recovery. So the car that is a better car for you would be probably what you prefer. The handling would be a better car as opposed to the correct car. And also the downforce, the dirty air is really bad here. So if the Audi can give you pole position versus maybe a 3rd or 4th position with the Toyota, that is worth more than actually starting in the pack with a car that can do faster race pace. Faster race pace means absolutely nothing if in the pack.
Makes sense.
Right, thanks Mr. Donkey, I appreciate that, my brother. So
was
just
a better
driving here and you did it in chase cam. Oh no, Ruan just went to chase cam for our viewing.
Yeah.
I was about to say legend. Okay, so I will introduce the man. I'm not going to let him introduce himself.
Before you introduce me, bud, just a big shout out to Mr. Donkey for tomorrow. As I understand it from Mrs. Donkey's message on chat there, it is your birthday tomorrow, sir. So a big shout out from us here at Chatbox, and we hope you enjoy your day tomorrow, my man.
Happy birthday, Mr. Donkey. You want me to sing for you?
No, it's alright. So, I'm wearing headphones, bro. I was high.
All right, Mr. Pace, KLM Pace, doing the manufacturer's fast at GR4 Red Bull Ring, the short track. So it is a very, how can I say, easy track to learn. However, the racing with open tires choice might make it interesting, like you mentioned, Mr. Pace. So, balls in your court, brother.
100%, guys. So yeah, manufacturers race is the Red Bull Ring short track this week, well, on Wednesday. And yeah, open tire choice, so you can use racing hards to racing softs. I'm not really 100% sure what the tire wear will be like, but I would suggest practicing that before you actually join the race, just so that you can work out your strategy. Obviously, for the quali lap, I will be using the racing soft tires in my lovely Citroen that's been serving me so well over the past 10 rounds. So yeah, quick things. These yellow sausage curves, please be careful of them. If you take them wrong, you're going to be spinning. If you take them right, you make up at least 0.2, 0.3 of a second. You can see that there's a black mark on the sausage curve ahead of me because I hit it a bit earlier. But yeah, if you can take these as best as you can, that you don't bounce the car, you'll do really well. So at the start of your lap, you really want to get as much as you can on the exit here. They do leave this artificial grass so that you can run the car as wide as you want to. And yeah, it does actually help you a whole lot being able to carry as much speed as you can in that last corner. Turn 1, I brake at the 100-meter mark, which is just behind me where that white line is. Generally, I would drop down into third gear. You can do the same with something like a Ford Mustang or a Dodge Viper, and then again try and touch or cut that sausage curve as much as you can. Generally, I push the limits here because if you go too far, you can see the bottom right hand side of my car where that artificial grass is. If you go that far, you generally will get at least a half a second penalty. So try and cut it as best as you can on here, so that you can maximize your exit going straight, sticking into third gear on exit, just like that there. Then usually with the normal track, you'd go all the way up to the top of that hill. But this track's a little bit weird. What I use is this little shadow here. As you can see, it's a weird little flagpole shadow thing. I generally start braking here, but I brake to go wide and not tight into the corner, because it's quite a long hairpin-like right-hander. So I'd brake, shift down into second gear with my Citroen, go wide, and then follow these tire marks so that I can come in nice and tight and close and accelerate out as I get tighter, so that the car basically starts gripping, and then up into third to follow this line around that corner. So it's really weird. They cut out a whole lot of track, and you can see that's why the fastest time by one of the guys that joined is a 51.844. Then running through the gears all the way back up the hill until you get to the second last corner, which is a dipping right-hander. Generally when I'm here, I brake just after the 100, shift down into fourth gear. You can do fourth gear as well in a Skyline or a Mustang. Time it so that you ride this curve very nicely and accelerate your way out onto the banking here, and then down into third gear, cutting that little sausage curve in the final corner. And that's basically the lap around the Red Bull Ring. So what I'm going to do now is just a quick one. As you can see, just cutting that corner. Please excuse my brakes, they do have a mind of their own at the moment tonight. So with the Citroen, I like to shift it half, just gives it a little bit more power. Braking on the 100 board. Cutting that first corner as I said, hoping that there's no penalty. Looking for the shadow. Turning in very late. And accelerating as hard as I can out. Nice and wide.
I would have gone straight into that wall.
Probably would have done the same.
They're used to that thing.
Fourth gear, holding it nice and tight. Braking at that sausage curve, cutting the next one. And that's your lap. As I said, it's a really quick lap around here. So if you do take part in this race, I think there's really no room for error on this track, because you can obviously lose a lot of time on being in such a short lap. But if you are able to be very nice and consistent, at least hitting about 52s come the race, you definitely will do well. And yeah, that's basically a lap of the Red Bull Ring, guys.
Awesome stuff, Mr. Pace. I want to thank you from our side. Everybody's side there, guys. If you have any questions, etc., regarding the race, please message the group or myself or Mr. Pace directly. Most of you would have his number. Also remember to subscribe to his channel, KLM Pace, and then all these other little Twitter birdies, Insta faces and stuff like that. He will write down his details below. So please make sure to go like and subscribe, guys. We didn't reach our 225 mark for subscribers for this week, so Mr. Pace will not have to drive I Love Dino livery for the next season, and he won't have to change his WhatsApp status. But I want to extend that challenge to the next week, please. Thank you very much. Okay, guys, so Mr. Pace is part of a Sky Coffee promotion that he is endorsed by Sky Coffee. So just a quick word from himself to his sponsors, etc. So, Mr. Pace, I believe that you've got a little thing prepared.
Sorry, was that question to me?
Yes, it's your Sky Coffee.
Oh, yes. Okay, give me 2 seconds. Sorry, I'm a bit delayed, yeah.
While we're at it, can perhaps Mr. Ruan, if you don't mind, brother, I see that I'm using my cell phone now, just to let the guys know for the Chatbox Cup that the pool and lobby is open for this evening's race, and that'll be starting at 8 o'clock. So, only if you don't mind, if you can confirm in the background. Thank you.
Cool, guys. So, Sky Coffee has a limited edition Pace Motorsport branded medium dark roast coffee.
Dark
it's
roast.
Quite a tongue twister. So, yeah, my favorite of the Sky... Okay, cool. I'll start again. Sky Coffee has a limited edition Pace Motorsport branded medium dark roast coffee. It is my favorite of the Sky Coffee range, and you can order this on Sky Coffee Company's Facebook page at Sky Coffee Company. Look for the branded merchandise with the Pace Motorsport logo on it, and on checkout you can use the code KLM-PACE to receive a 10% discount on your order. So please do follow them, and yeah, guys, you can set the pace with Sky Coffee.
Okay, absolutely perfect. Guys, then we will definitely be interviewing someone, as you might recall, groot back, but an experienced back, vinnige back, not slow back, says what I want to back, but will always have your back in a race, as a friend, as a mentor, as a tutor, regardless of how he speaks or when he says his opinions. An awesome guy, has been playing the game. I almost said game. He's been racing GD Sport since 2008, so an immense amount of experience, Sibanas. We all know him as Princess Fluffy Butts on the groups. It's actually Flavius Buttress, and recently changed to join our group, myself and Ruan's group, mostly Ruan's racing group that he made, Deadman Racing, DMR Fluffy Butts. And yeah, so as I said, awesome guy joining us this evening, and then Mr. Pacey will... I only see the name now, Meneer Stein. Everyone, you caught me off guard there, brother. Meneer Stein. There you go. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much for always saying what you need to say if you feel you need to be said, but also keeping it at a balanced moment for all of us.
Thanks, man. It's a pleasure being here. Thank you so much for the invite.
Awesome stuff. Welcome, Fluffy, and awesome to have you in chat with us, brother. So first things first, because you've been gone for a little bit of a while. So how does it feel to be back after your sabbatical, and do you feel like you're back up to speed already?
Yeah, I got into the groove quite quickly, I must admit. I thought it would take me a bit longer, so I'm quite pleased with that. But yeah, it's awesome to be back, to see the old name still racing, and obviously the new guys that came in, that's super fast. It's exciting times, man. Looking forward to all of it.
Exciting times indeed. I can't complain there, brother. And yeah, in terms of GTSSA now, you obviously with the year before us with the previous format. How are you finding it now with this current format of racing and its link to FIA?
Well, to be honest, I was never really a fan of the FI races. And the way it's been formatted now, it kind of like forces you to do that, which I think is cool in its own way. It forces us into a more professional line of racing, which is awesome. So yeah, it's all good, eh?
100%. So next question to you: name one driver other than me, please, other than me, that you're excited to be racing with again.
Yo, buddy. To answer that, I'll have to say all of Pool 1, eh? But I have to name specific names. You were obviously my very first target, but now I'm not allowed to say Mr. Pace, so let's go on. Mr. Koniwe, 00 Pace. He was also he's also somebody that pushes me quite hard. I look up to the Oak. He's super fast and a great racer. So yeah, he's also a target of mine. And then all the old names. Skitty One, also great racer.
Yep.
And like I said, everybody in Pool 1, I'm coming for you, man.
100%. I think you did already come for us at Fuji with your win. So yeah, great to have you back there, especially. And then in terms of the manufacturers' pools, you're currently sitting in 10th place in the point standings, right? Mm-hmm. What's your goal for this season, seeing as it's your first season back?
Well, obviously the goal is to take the championship. That's always the first goal.
Yep.
But doing it while having fun. So, the aim is to win it. With the new regulations, it kind of put a spanner in the works with Pool 1 already being decided before the seeding process, so I had to work my way back up.
Yeah.
Which kind of put me on the back foot, but I'm coming for the Oaks at the top. I'm aiming to win it, so I just have to push it a little bit extra.
You can thank Mr. Stephen Berry for that seeding special that we had at the beginning of the season.
Mr. Stephen Berry knows what I think about admin, so we'll just keep it there.
Vettel.
Okay. Dino, you actually moved along to my next question, but so Fluffy.
Yeah.
You know that F1 is starting this coming weekend at Red Bull Ring. So how do you think your favorite driver, Mr. Sebastian Vettel, will be doing this weekend, brother?
Sure. You want me to actually answer what I think he's going to do, or what I want him to do?
Let's start with what you want him to do.
I want him to pack his bag and go home.
And what do you think he's going to do then?
No, you can't really write off the Ferraris. I don't think that they've shown their true pace in pre-season practice back in Feb.
Yeah.
But I do believe that between the Mercs and the new Racing Point and the Red Bulls, I think they should be around about 4th, 5th, 6th, round about there. I think Mr. Vettel would be in that region. I don't think he'll be in the top 3 though.
A question from Werner: who do you think is going to be the podium for this weekend?
You're going to be stupid if you don't say any one of the Mercedes. Mm-hmm. I believe Hamilton would be on pole. He would be in top podium spot. I do believe that Bottas will be second. The Mercs are extremely quick.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to throw a wild card in there and say one of the Racing Points. They looked exceptional in pre-season practice.
I must say that's quite an unorthodox podium, considering that the Orange Army, Max Verstappen, he won the race last year. So, interesting podium from you, sir. And then last question for the evening: some words of wisdom for those guys in esports, seeing as that you've been a very long and loyal servant, as Dino had mentioned. You've been playing since 2008. Just some words of wisdom for the guys.
If it's a couple of words only, I'd say if you're doing it for the fun. That'll be the main priority. Keep it for the fun, and then it won't become anything more than that.
100%.
If you do it for any other reasons, if it's for money or for recognition or for anything else, you're doing it the wrong way.
100%,
if you love it,
guys.
the rest will all happen by itself.
Awesome stuff, Fluffy. Guys, just take those words to heart. If you're doing it for the fun of it, you'll always enjoy it. If you make it a job, it's never going to feel fun. So keep it up, guys. And big thanks to Mr. Fluffy Butt for joining us this evening. If you guys have any questions for Fluffy during the show, please do pop them up in chat. I'm sure he'll answer them. Fluffy, if you don't mind, do you mind giving us some of your stream links, any social media links that you have, if you want to share it with the viewers so that they can like and follow you?
Yeah, I've got my stream channel's name is Fluffy But Fast, and unfortunately that's all I'm really using at the moment. I'm not really big into social media as such, but yeah, catch my streams. You can just search Fluffy But Fast, and yeah, should be streaming most of my races.
Awesome stuff, Mr. Pace. I believe that you will be assisting Mr. Fluffy But Fast and Mr. Stein, and maybe just putting it in the link below or in the comments
100%.
below.
100% doing that right now.
Yeah, I mean, you're Stein from our side also as one of our DMR representatives and team members here. So from our side, to have the type of experience that you can bring to any organization is absolutely phenomenal. Also, your inputs with regards to not just within DMR, but with any single person who's either on a party chat with us or on a race with us that you're in a party chat with, the amounts of advice and free advice you give, sometimes straightforward, sometimes not beating around the bush, and 70% of the time argumentative and debating, which is always good. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for that, brother.
It's always a pleasure, buddy. Appreciate it. I enjoy the conversations, and I learn just as much from the guys as they learn from me. Enjoying every second, eh?
Absolutely.
And well done also. Well done to your chatbox win last week.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah, thanks, guys. That was a surprise to me as well, eh?
Maybe just pop that as a question, Mr. Pace. We are slightly ahead of schedule, so if you want to pop him a question with regards to that race, maybe a general one, like what went through your mind, what was your goal, target, etc.?
Yeah, why Lambo?
Well, I was kind of like, somebody tried to force me into using the Nissan, but like I've said, I'm not a big fan of understeer, so although the car is fast, I don't enjoy driving it all that much. And the Lambo just clicked. It felt awesome to drive, even though it was slow on the straights, but like I said before, if you're not doing it for the fun, you're not doing it at all right. So I enjoyed that car. It was fun to drive. I had to fight my way through the field, and it was worth it at the end of the day. So that's why I took the Lambo. Just an enjoyable
100%.
car to drive.
100%, and I think you proved that it is one of the quicker cars on the day as well.
Thanks, man.
Just another one also with regards to well done with your GTSSA race on Thursday, your win there against Stinky, etc., etc. So tell us what went through your mind regarding them.
Well, looking at Stinky's pre-race practice times, I expected him to kind of walk that race. He was about 0.3 of a second faster than me in all sessions before the race start. So I was very pleasantly surprised when we got to quali, and I was actually just 1.5 tenths behind him in quali. But even so, second on the grid, I thought he was going to just pull away from me. But surprisingly, I could keep up with him in the first half of the race and actually attempt an overtake going on to the back straight. We made slight contact, so I had to give the position back, but I stayed on his tail. And coming on to the main straight, I just slipped him, overtook him in the first corner, and then, surprisingly, I pulled away from him. I expected him to just come fetch me, but he never did. So, yeah, a big surprise to me, and, maybe hopefully to him as well.
Yeah, awesome stuff. I think everyone was surprised on that race there as well. I'm not taking anything away from you, though, to be honest, as you all know what you're capable of, and obviously getting your potential back. And good to see your pace is starting to get back there. You said you're almost on pace with total, let's say, lap times, etc. You're saying you're probably 0.3, 0.4 away from your peak like you used to be, and that's quite fast getting back into the rhythm again.
Oh, thanks, guys. Appreciate that.
Awesome stuff, bud. So thanks to have you. Appreciate it. Much love. We all love you, Mr. Fluffy Butt.
Thanks, guys. You're doing an awesome job. I love the show.
Awesome
Thanks,
stuff.
brother.
Thanks, brother.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Okay, Mr. Pace, thanks for running us through those interviews. Always brilliant as, I want to say brilliant as always. I almost said always as brilliant as always. So thank you very much for that. Appreciate that. I'm always prepping the interviewees perfectly. So guys, let's jump to a moment of the week. I'm quickly going to run you through what happened here. It was part of our GTSSA race last week, Thursday, within the Nations race. So have a look at this. Driving respect between DMR TSM JDJ and Serious Sam at Willow Springs. Side by side, dirt on the sides. Anybody can go off at any given time. No shoving, no apexes. If you're off, you're off. Very tight track. And just look at this sportsmanship. Serious Sam, which is Samir, and John de Jager, TSM JDJ. This is what gives us goosebumps. This is what makes us race each other. Look at that attempts, 2-3 overtakes. Mr. Pace, what are your thoughts on this, having been in multiple battles like that? Maybe if we can just run that again, please run if you don't mind, brother.
Correct me if I'm wrong. This is basically controller versus the G29. So, I mean, awesome stuff to see by Serious Sam as well as Sean Diarra. Literally Swan Lake between these two Subarus, and not like, what is it called? I think Formula Drift, where you see the guys drifting side by side, but Oaks actually racing side by side and keeping at least a door's width between each other. So really, really impressive stuff by the guys, and I think this is just an epitome of what Pool 1 is in terms of the nation's races.
I completely agree with you in regards to that. Guys, pop down your comments below. Please let us know what you thought about that racing. Absolutely beautiful stuff from that. Also remember, TSM JDJ, 15-year-old race, some very big potential going on in there. Needs to sort his hothead out. I know, Flores, that you're watching at the moment. Make sure he's not as hothead anymore, especially turn one, lap ones. Something special that's going to be running out of him, as well as not Stinky, who's got a year in advance with regards to age. But we should definitely keep an eye on TSM JDJ as well as Not Stinky for the future. They might be GD Sport champions or even Academy finalists or World finalists, etc. If they carry on, as you can see there, 15-year-old being able to drive like that. Stinky already 16 years old driving like that. It's absolutely beautiful seeing that. So awesome stuff. Samir, Serious Sam, and then John, TSM JDJ. Great stuff for that moment of the week. Guys, if you want moments of the weeks to be presented here or displayed here, please send it to myself or Ruan, or just send it on the main group tag by either myself or Ruan or even KLM Pace, and then write moment of the week. We will definitely consider it and maybe give you a display or a presentation with your moment of the week if we deem it worthwhile. So great stuff. Thanks a lot for that, guys. And yeah, Pace, I believe this is the end of this segment of that. Is there anything we're missing in regards to that apart from the Chatbox Cup? Remember, stay tuned. The Chatbox Cup is starting in about 10 minutes. So going to be definite fun.
100%. Now, big ups, guys. Thanks for always supporting the channel. And don't forget, as Dino had mentioned earlier, please try and I'll actually run this competition for another week. Let's try and get Dino to 225 subscribers. If we get him to 225 subscribers for the rest of the GTSSA season, which is still another 5 races long, I will be racing a car that has the livery that says I love DeanoCantino, as well as for that week from the next chat box on Monday, I will have Dino as my WhatsApp profile picture with the status I love Dino.
Please share this with your family. Share the link. Let people comment. We will see a WhatsApp profile picture and status with KLM Pace saying that I love DeanoCantino for a whole week, and a livery on his manufacturer GTSSA races saying I love DeanoCantino for the rest of the season. Copy this link below. Click at this thing at the bottom here. Click share, click copy link, and copy and paste on all your social media. Please, let's get to 225 subscribers. Come on.
100%. And guys, also don't forget F1 this weekend. I'm really excited. I can't wait to see what the guys are going to do on Red Bull Ring. It's quite strange that the dailies and the FIA is also Red Bull. So goodness gracious, it's just going to be Red Bull all the week. Looking really forward to that, guys.
Awesome stuff, guys. I appreciate it. The next chat box race. Sorry, I see that is Mr. Vlakvark asking that. Vlakvark, please, you are making a noise now on purpose. I know that you are laughing there because I sent this message 3, 4, 5 times to everyone. Personal messages on the groups. So everybody today just yanking my chain, messaging me on purpose. They're obviously colluded at the back. on the background to try and irritate me on purpose. So everybody asks me, and I repeat myself, and then an hour later they tell someone else to ask me again, just to see how much they can get out of me. So they know what the next race is. But for the viewers, this is race 1 still, but Pool B. Every week it will alternate, so it's the same race as last week, just the second pool. There are 2 pools, so it's still Mount Panorama, the sprint race. So for 20 minutes, going to be awesome to see what's happening here. Unfortunately, one of our drivers not making it, Kuchi, or TSM JDJ rather, not making it, so going to be awesome, going to be fun. So yeah, let's have a look at that. So just a quick introduction video regarding the chat box race. Again, some information. We'll quickly play that, and then yes, we'll jump through to the track. Ruan, I believe you are in the lobby already and ready for the race to start progressing. Okay, perfect. Like always, he's always on the dot. I don't know why I always ask. Alright guys, awesome stuff. Like I said, thanks a million for watching the show. So in the next 8 minutes we will be jumping, or in the next 5 minutes actually, we'll be jumping to the race of Mount Panorama, any all-wheel drive GR4, which is the Chatbox Cup Race 1. So we've had no issues with this test start, which is great. I'm just confirming all okay. They'll respond quickly, and then the race starts, or qualifying rather, will start at 8 o'clock. It'll be manual quali. I believe I made it at 10 minutes qualification. I'm not too sure again if it was 15 minutes. No, it was 10 minutes. It was a 10 minutes qualification, and then we'll start with the race. So I believe everybody had a good launch, no ADs, which is very good news. It's going to be a 10-minute race, and then 10 minutes quali, then with a 20 minutes endurance race around Mount Panorama.
100%, Dino, and I think it'll be quite interesting to see, based on last week's race, the Bugatti Veyron as well as the Lamborghini Huracan GR4 cars that were quite the class of the field last week. What cars these guys will be choosing this week. I know also one of the honorable mentions was Mr. Flakvark in his Mazda Tenza, correct? The GR4, where he placed in
yes.
third place. So it will be interesting to see who will be picking that car tonight.
Definitely. So we can quickly actually jump in and spectate. I'm just going to let everybody enter quickly so we can jump to their cars and we can have a look. Run again, fast as always. Mikhail is driving which car? Skyline GDR as expected. Then we'll have a look at JWO Pace.
Lambo, my boy.
Lambo. Right, we were wondering if thought he was going to take the Datsun.
Favorite. Yep. Dark Fox 1 in a Skyline, which is actually very interesting because he's one man that I know loves that Atenza.
Okay, Mr. GTI obviously with the Skyline. I mean, we've been driving this car for the whole season, so in fact I might try and do a race again with Manu again after going to Nations. So I miss my boys.
You must join us, bro, after that 270 points you scored. Definitely you must call in. Got Wolfman Willie, who's driving a Lamborghini Huracan, as well as Mr. Travis, who is in a Subaru, one of our top menu guys, not Stinky, his favorite car. So what up there to Travis, big ups, man.
Great news. Okay guys, so we're going to be one driver short tonight. I believe it's John TSM JDJ. For some reason, I'm not too sure. He didn't give me any feedback yet, but he did have the decency to cancel last minute perhaps to sort out his hot-headedness, I believe. Well, Flores, just let me know why the young prodigy can't race, brother. It will be good to actually see what's going to happen there. So it's going to lose out a chance on getting to the finals, but I believe he'll still be able to do it because 5 out of the 7 guys go to the semi-finals anyway. Okay guys, so just a quick one. Like I said, there's 7 drivers per pool as you saw on the video. It's going to be exciting. So Mr. Pace, as always, what do you think the quali is going to be like? And then what do you think the race results will be like?
I'm trying to draw back on my knowledge from last week, but based on the current lobby, I must put my money on JOO Pace as well as Mikhail. Mikhail's just been killing it in terms of the King of the Ring series that he's been racing in. He's literally been the class of the field, and if you remember to last season's GTSSA, he was the winner in race 3 with the Group 1 cars. So I think he definitely will feature quite well with this Group 4 Skyline that he's driving in. And then Mr. JOO Pace, I mean, the man doesn't have pace in his name now for no reason. In the Lamborghini, as we saw last week, it was the quicker car in terms of the race, so looking out for JOO Pace.
Okay, so let me make it more precise. Who is going to be first, second, and third in quali, and who's going to be first, second, and third in the race?
First, I'm going to put it on JOO Pace. Second, I'm going to put it in Mikhail, and then I'm going to give an outsider a chance here. I'm going to say Travis in that Subaru. I'm quite interested to see what that car will do around this track. In terms of the race, I'm thinking maybe... Nah, I've still got my money on Mr. JOO Pace for the win.
Okay, second and third.
Mikhail for second, and then probably GTP GTI for third.
I was gonna give you so much uphill grief if you didn't mention his name right now. Okay, guys, so I was going to. Okay, John is on his way to the lobby. Perfect. I hope he had some practicing, etc. He just needs to keep it consistent. There we go. There we go. Awesome stuff. Flores, goed. Die man het 'n bietjie vasgevat. I can't read my comments or something because I've got issues with my other cell phone that I usually watch the YouTube on. So if I'm missing anything, guys, maybe we'll run just let me know in the background like Guardian Angel as always. Just a quick one. I believe Dark Fox 1 made a special delivery for us tonight, Run. You can remember all the chatting in the group.
Let's have a look at that.
There's the clown for Dino. He said he's going to do it.
Amazing, amazing. He's even put the wheels as red, just like the clown shoes.
Interesting. Let's jump to chase view and then press the rearview mirror and have a look what's going to happen there. Hey, there we go.
Ruan, that was towards you.
That is DeanoCantino Chatbox Cup. Guys, thanks a million for doing the deliveries for Chatbox Cup. I think, Ron, I know you're in the background. People probably can't hear you. So, just a quick one. What do you guys think the Chatbox Cup, with the first launch of it and already having 14 participants paid for, that the second season will be doing? Do you think we're going to be running a consistent one? Do you think the demand for it will be there? Mr. Pace, maybe to yourself, yes?
I thought you were asking Ruan that question.
Yes, I know he's in the background, so Ruan will answer me at a different time.
Can you repeat that question there? Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. I'm saying with regards to the demand for the Chatbox Cup, I think it's a small success at the first attempt at it, and I definitely think it will be able to grow, especially the fact that it's alternating weeks and it's not every week per pool, so you get a chance of a week to rest, etc.
Yeah, so in regards to that, based on my LNR teammate's words that he mentioned with me, is that it is quite intriguing, especially that the drivers that do take part have a chance at winning something other than just the race. So yeah, it is a bit of a draw card for the guys, and I do think that it's something that will definitely gain a bit more traction as time goes on. I think the one thing that was mentioned to me on the side is that they do hope that the lobbies can kind of be combined into one full lobby, being 7 drivers aside, just because I think they want a bit more competition on track, and I think based on what we see for tonight's race, we might see that the guys actually run similar times and can be very quick. So if we combine the two, definitely it will be a lot more action that Ruan will have to kind of catch up on.
Yeah, fair enough. I completely agree with you with regards to that. That it's not going to be a cup per se. Then it's just going to be a league, and that's the whole thing that we're trying to stay away from, is it being a league, where you have 1 or 2 pools, a lot of teams, and then people fighting out for the top and maybe have a final at the end. What this exactly needs to be is exactly that, a cup, like the World Cup, exactly, not the World Series of, let's say, rugby or the Soccer World Cup. Is you've got a distributed amount of pools, a small amount within each. Obviously, your best ones are distributed amongst the pools, and then you've got your 2-3 wildcards. So that is the whole reason for it, and not to have competition from race 1 right throughout the whole pack where 5-6 people can take it, and where it can still be here that way. But this needs to be an opportunity for everyone to be able to make a semis and then a final. So the people in the final 100% deserve to be there. They've had multiple chances in the pool races, as the majority of them will go through. So if someone 80s who has a crap race, they can still manage to make up a win on the next 1 or 2 races or place well, as 5 of 7 guys will go through. So we'll have a 10-man semi-final. It's actually going to be 4, but there might be 2 other guys going through if they had issues, etc. So we'll have a look at that. But remember, it is a cup. And yeah, so we're going to start with quali currently. And then we'll just get that done quickly. Sorry, I missed a minute. And then we quickly continue the discussion. Hey, Dino, sort your life out. Guys, we're just having quick technical difficulty. Quick technical difficulty with Kalen, and there we go. He is back. Quali has just started, guys. So yeah, Kalen, as I mentioned, the whole reason for this, it needs to be a cup. So, which will be perfect, and sorry, we just had an AD here. There we go. There's Mr. Fluffy Bird. See, now I'm typing different stuff as well. So yeah, there needs to be a cup. I know a lot of people want competition, but at the end of the day, I don't want to start another league. LNR is there, GTSSI is there. This needs to be a cup whereby top seeders will be split into different categories. So number 1, it avoids sandbagging. Number 2, if we see someone fast putting up a bad time, we can use our own discretion to know, listen here, this guy's not slow. Separate him as one of the tops amongst the 3, 4, 5, or 6 pools if he grows that much. So everybody will have a chance to get to the semis, etc., etc., etc. So it won't be just the fast guys in front, but every wildcard underdog can have a chance, like Japan did in the World Cup. Yeah, he's in the lobby, but I'm not sure. Mr. Pace is back in the party, yes. Yeah, so maybe you guys just need to quickly exit and re-enter again. Pace, you should exit and re-enter. Okay, he's just exited now and he'll be back into the party again. Okay, all of them are in. Perfect. Yes. Ruan, can you hear Pace? Okay, he's been on for about 20 seconds.
I can hear Ruan now. Awesome stuff.
What's up, please join?
Okay guys, I just quickly need to sort this out because I said if there are manual quality issues, etc., they will have 1 extra lap. So I just need to confirm with them quickly and let them know. Can you hear Pace? Okay guys.
Cool, I can see now everybody's in the lobby. We are about to start qualifying, guys.
Others, sorry guys, just doing some administration work here. Others stop at 10 minutes. Fluffy? Sorry, Ruan mutes the people that are not on the party chat. I apologize for that. What is it? Is this composed meal? I'm not sure if he's a participant in the race, brother. Okay, thanks, Emilian. Okay, yeah, so the 7 participants here, it is a private paid for competition, so if you can just run that messages through to him. I'm not sure if he can hear me, etc. So, unfortunately. Ja, ekskuus, vertel ek net van dit is die Chatbox Cup race hierdie en die 7 ouens wat hier soort is privaat wat betaal het voor. Dit is 'n private tournament.
Cool guys, so as we come to the end of the track now, we've got Mr. Mikhailo5 who's about to start his lap first. GTP GTI right behind him trying to catch that slip. Mr. Dark Fox 1 having a bit of a spin at the end there, so I think he's out of the slip, but he's got Travis to fend off behind him with the slip. Wolfman Willie in 5th, he's going to be starting his lap very shortly. Actually, they have done their lap already, and JWO Pace in 6th, and TSM JDJ in 7th. At the moment, Mikhailo5 with a 2:11.7, GTP GTI right behind him with a 2:11.8, and Mr. Travis in 3rd with his Subaru, also 2:11 I believe. Just waiting on the other guys to complete their laps, and I think it's quite interesting to see that these oaks are doing really well at the moment, keeping it off the walls, going around the corners as quickly as they can. Travis running a little bit wide there, but looks like that wide line might be paying off for him. He's got a bit of damage to the front of his car, you can see him scraping the walls there. So again, Dino, I don't know if you can hear me, brother, but what car would you have chosen for this race?
To be honest, I'm in 2 minds of which car I would have chosen, but I think I would have gone Datsun. Just because I've familiarized myself with the car so much in the last season or 2 with it, so I would not have changed it, to be quite honest with you, especially with the sprint race. Yeah, I think myself, Ruan, all of the Datsun boys have definitely surprised a lot of people with regards to this car here, and beaten a lot of OP cars or handling tracks with it. Just because we've tamed the beast. There we go with the 2:10.9, which is an awesome lap pace.
Wow.
Pace, if you don't mind, I just quickly need to step off for about a minute or 2. If you can just carry on with the commentary, please. I need to take a
sure, not a problem, but so Mikhail now setting the top time with a 2:10.9, GTP GTI in 2nd with a 2:10 as well himself, sorry, a 2:11 himself. Mr. Dark Fox 1 just topping Travis there in 3rd place, Wolfman Willie in 5th, and then JWO Pace who's just come around the final corner. We'll see what time he does. He's currently sitting on 2:12.6 in 5th place. Wolfman Willie now dropping to 6th, and DMR TSM JDJ just jumping there with the 2:13. I don't think he's had much practice just due to some technical difficulties on his side. Wolfman Willie now in 7th. Let's hope he can obviously get a little bit more speed in that car that he's driving there. As you watch Mikhail, standard livery currently on the Skyline for him. As I said, he is the reigning king of the ring champion, and he's already going quicker, literally pushing the track limits here. So guys, look out for Mikhail. He is one of the controller masters. He's literally he's the controller whisperer, if you want to call it that. Mad quick. If anyone wants to sponsor him a wheel, please do so. It will slow him down. Nonetheless, GTP GTI in 2nd place. He's currently sitting on a 2:11.6 with his GTR. I think he's trying to catch up to Mikhail just to get a bit of slip. But nonetheless, in 2nd place at the moment. Will be an interesting race start with these skylines at the front. Dark Fox 1 not too far behind GTP, just about 0.3 behind him. Travis sitting really close behind Mr. Dark Fox, I think getting awesome speed from that slipstream with his. And looking really, really very stable, if I must say. GTP actually running wide at that last corner there. But Travis right behind Dog Fox here. Looking for a better time from him right now. Let's see where he ends up, guys. The 2:11.4, which jumps him into second place ahead of GTP GTI and Dark Fox 1. I think that is the final lap that these guys can do in this 10-minute quali. Waiting on JOO Pace, who I think is coming around the final corner now. Let's see if he has anything to say with regards to the way the race is about to start. Coming around the last corner, 206, 207. Looks like he's going much quicker here with a 2:11.2, so he's now in second place. Travis in third, GTP GTI in fourth, Dark Fox 1 in fifth, TSM JDJ he is in sixth place. He's just crossed the line with a 2:12.5, and then last but not least, Wolfman Willie. Will he make it before the race starts? Looks like he's been given that chance. Rounding the final corner now. It's 2:10 already, looking a little bit slow, but nonetheless, big ups to Wolfman Willie, who ends off our field in 7th place with a 2:14.3. So guys, gents are going to be doing a 20-minute endurance race of Mount Panorama. There's no fuel needed, no pit stops needed, racing soft tires. The guys are going to make sure that they are absolutely pushing the limit of these cars around this track. And yeah, nonetheless, guys, again, it's Pool 2 that we see in Pool 1 was last week, where we had our winner, Mr. Flavius Buttress, who won the race. And Pool 2, we're going to see if Mikhail can hang on to that lead with JOO Pace in the Lamborghini right behind him. All good. Cool, guys, if you have any questions, please do pop them into the chat box on the side of this stream.
Hi Jen, sorry, can you hear me?
Can hear you, bud.
Okay, perfect. Sorry about that. My son was giving me a problem for 2 minutes now.
Oh, no stress, brother. But yeah, guys, don't forget, throw some questions for us in the chat. More than willing to answer your questions while the guys are racing on screen. You can see one here from Quintus Van Zyl, no update, Kaz. Unfortunately not, and great for mentioning that, because I think we are due a GT Sport update unless the guys are prepping for GT7. Stephen Vessel saying, yeah, Group 4 GTR isn't a beast, man. It's a boat, but yes, it can be quick. The Group 3 GTR, now that's a beast, definitely. That thing absolutely moves down a straight and pulls away from anything in its path, including a Peugeot VGT, guys. Fluffy but Fast, our winner from last week, saying good luck to all the guys. Wolfman Willie, Wilfred Robson in chat just saying he only sees 6 people in the race, 1 is missing from his lobby. Don't worry, bud. I think if you are overtaking that one person that you are missing, it's going to make for some interesting viewing on the channel tonight.
Most definitely, I agree with you. Okay, so Wolfman Willie needs to get back on the track. What time did he qualify?
He is in 7th place.
Okay, cool. So it's not going to make a difference if I start the race then now. And then let's quickly get the race starts. Awesome stuff. And somebody nailed the podium slots. Well done to you, Mr. Payes.
I should have played Lotto today.
You nailed it per position.
I should have played Lotto today. But yeah, we'll see. 3rd place still up for grabs. Travis and GTP GTI, they're not too far from each other, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens there.
Awesome stuff, guys. Okay, perfect. We have a grid start. All the cars are all-wheel drive cars, so absolutely phenomenal. This is going to be very interesting. And let's quickly have a look at that. Beautiful stuff. You guys getting engine interference from my side or not?
None such.
Okay, perfect. Let's have a look at the launch. Should be fast off the tracks.
So it's about to start the race, guys. Just watch out for that Lambo.
No 80s, everything off the track. Beautiful.
Moving. All these cars actually
no 10-1 incidents. Ooh, slight argy-bargy. In 3 and 4. Race should progress. We've got a battle here with TSM, JDJ, and GTI. Jonas already Slipped back on his hot-headedness, awesome stuff. Got back, got fighting turn 1 again. His signature move does it very cleanly sometimes. Very aggressive young driver. Oh, and there he spins out, going a little bit wide, trying to go for the overtake. Not too sure. Should just let the race progress and form formation. Perfect. Okay, so he'll probably catch up, and we'll just keep tabs on him.
100%. As you look at the leaders here, Mikhailo 5, he's currently in the lead with a very hot on the heels Travis right on the back of him with his Subaru. I think the Subaru is definitely a bit quicker as we come to the hilly section here at the top of the hill. And then JOO paced in third now, so the top, second and third switching positions at the beginning of the race. And then fourth downwards seem to have definitely slipped back quite a bit, so hopefully those guys can catch back up to this leading pack.
Yeah, let's have a look at fourth GTP GTR. It's just how far it is. I wonder if the incident with Jonas is the reason that this happened. I'm not too sure, but he is about 1.4 seconds behind now, with Dark Fox 1 also 1.4 seconds behind. I'm not sure what happened there. Definitely have a look at the replay. I don't think there will be any incidents or incident reviews. Notice a little slip, but oh, and JOO Pace went wide on the last corner.
Oh, slightly wide, but luckily he is still in that slip, and that Lamborghini is actually starting to pull both the Skyline and the Subaru. As we come down to the second last corner here, see no one outbreaks each other. Very clean racing by the guys. Great stuff. Travis,
beautiful stuff. Let's have a look at the completion.
Racy tonight.
He does. He's going to go for the move.
He's keeping it tight. But JW now right on his bumper.
A little slippy from Mikhail. They're pushing the limits. Knows he's got pressure from the back. And then GTP GTR has to catch up, play catch up. At least he's in the slip still. No, now there's a 3-second gap.
Looks like we might have something wrong with the guys in fourth place, but hopefully they can catch up. I think they are losing out in terms of slip. JOO Pace, who is about 3.6 seconds ahead of GTP GTI. He's now right on the back of Travis. That Lambo is so low, it looks like it wants to go under that Subaru.
Yeah, if the Subaru's BB is to the front, then it can just brake hard, the rear will lift up, and the Lambo can do the same. It'll just pop him up like a shovel. And Mikhail going slightly wide, they're hitting the wall on the right. Travis, is he going to pounce on that? Very tight to overtake on this track, especially on the outside. Very gutsy move. Yes, as I thought, hit the wall, loses the position. Should have just kept back and let it maintain there as well. Pace, what do you think?
Yeah, I think guys must just keep it clean. Still 16 minutes, 17 minutes left of the race. There's a lot of time still, but shout out to JOO Pace there for getting through. And now we're getting hot on the heels of Mikhail. I think these guys are actually going to give us something worth watching tonight. So guys, look out for this battle. It's going to be a race-long battle for the next 16 minutes.
Completely agree with you. I also think that if they've got the right mindset, they will not battle each other and just try and push the gap. Because we all know GTP GTI, if he's on form, this guy can definitely put foot down and catch up or be among the fastest of the fastest with regards to race pace. So what they initially want to do or need to do is probably try and break away from the pack.
Agreed. Can't agree with you more than Dino. As we're looking at it now, we can see that Travis is falling slightly behind. He's in that braking zone. I think that Subaru has amazing braking.
He went slightly wide, running wide, yes.
He's now 1.4 seconds, so he's just out of that slip now. We'll have to see if Mr. GTP GTI will be able to catch up to him now. Oh, Mikhail running wide as well himself, and JOO Pace taking full advantage there in his Lamborghini. We'll see if he can run away with it now, as he's just under a second ahead of him into the first corner.
Very interesting to see how the first three guys are pushing each other's limits, etc.
Yeah, dirty tires on Mikhail, running wide again, and now out of that slip, having to battle with Travis here. It's quite interesting that Mikhail slipped up there.
Very, very interesting to see that as well. I remember, I think with the controller as well, with the sharp 90-degree bends, if you have 1 second, 1 split second timing interference or indifference with the previous lap, you're going to go wide. Your correction amount that you have to do is absolutely monumentally crucial with regards to with the analog stick. So if you just slip it up one more time, you can't correct it like a steering wheel, and then if you go wide, you go wide. especially on a high-speed power track like this. Being myself controller guy as well before, that's the only difference. If you 1/10 of a tenth of a tenth of a tenth too quick on the controller analog or too late, you can't correct back, and that's it. Your corner's done.
Correct. Both Travis and Mikhail's mistakes bringing Mr. GTI back into the race. He's now 1 second behind them, and Dark Fox not too far behind him, also just over 1 second behind GTI. And just further back, we can see that Mr. TSM JDJ, who had his mistake at the beginning of the race, is now up into 6th place ahead of Wolfman Woody, who's 4 seconds behind him.
Yes, I can guarantee you Jonas is going to be doing his fastest laps every single lap now, going into this, learning the track, also jumping on, not having done many laps on this, I believe, but he knows the track quite well, so let's hope that his temperaments can get him back into the race. There's another 13.5 minutes left to odd, so for him to get it 5 seconds, he can get it.
100%. We just missed there Mikhail and Travis running side by side, but that GTR proving too strong down the straights, guys. Awesome power there. As we see now into the last corner here, Travis really racy tonight. Really awesome to see, man.
And it looks like they're already breaking the slipstream of GTI, unless he made another small mistake again. So very interesting to see the strategies of everybody's pressure and aggressiveness so early in what we'd call a actual race, just with the 20-minute limits. Not real endurance though. What would your strategy be in regards to this? Let the race settle? Push for positions faster, earlier? What would you do?
I think like we saw last week with I Phantoms, Flavius, as well as Flakvak, and I can't remember the other racer that was part of that battle, but literally it was GTRSA. Literally just keeping it nice and calm, running your race, especially now with Mikhail and Travis, who are about 2.5 seconds behind double pace. Trying to help each other, not battle each other too much, so that you're able to catch up to the leader there. Because I think that will, if they have to battle each other anymore, they'll definitely be losing a lot more time where they're sitting right now.
Yeah, looks like Dark Fox 1 actually overtook Mr. GTI, and also TSM JDJ is catching up by 0.7 of a second just in the last lap, so he's definitely putting on the pace and trying to push there as well. But I believe in the battle for 4 and 5, with those two people being good friends and the respect they have between themselves, I think that's going to be a battle. So we're going to have 3 battles, 1, 2, and 3. Then we're going to have 4 and 5 with number 6 trying to catch 5. So there should be 3 interesting viewing opportunities for us here. And then Wolfman Willie at the back, awesome guy, just love this guy. Always wants to participate in as many opportunities as he can. So he just drives, has fun, and is always friendly with everyone. So always fun and awesome to have someone like that in the lobby.
100%. We look watching our race leader now, the most wanted man on the track at the moment. 00 pace with the fastest lap as well, 2:11.1. Not as quick as his quali time, but I think this man is definitely pushing. He's just got about 2.4 seconds between himself and Mikhail 5. I think these two, Mikhail and Travis, definitely settling into the race a lot better now, and should be chasing him. We should see the gap coming down slowly but surely.
Yourself being with Mikhail or either Travis at this close, would you have battle, or would you have nudge bumped and bump drafted to start catching up for the win, or would you try and fight for P2?
Luckily this isn't an FIA race, so I mean you can bump draft here. I definitely would have got Travis to bump draft Mikhail, but knowing that that GTR just pulls away from the Subaru, it's a bit difficult for Travis to bump draft Mikhail, especially when it gets to a corner where the Subaru is a lot stronger.
Yeah, it's very difficult having a handling car compared to a straight line car. Who advantages who at which turn, at which corner, etc. So very, very crucial. Yep. So Travis, Mikhail having a super battle there, very respectful. And JWO pace is just keeping the pace, is pulling away. So
100%. And Dark Fox and GTI also right on each other, literally kissing each other through the mountain section, as well as Mikhail and Travis. Just some questions or some comments in the chat, guys. Good luck to DMR, TSM JDJ from Flores Diaga. The boat pulled away very nicely from Stiganator SA. Mikhail put the choke in and opened up the taps, brother. I think he's definitely rooting for Mikhail 5 there. And then Kendall Mauer saying Pace Motorsport in position. Go JWO Pace.
There we go. Okay, so DMR TSM JDJ has just gotten a 0.5 of his own speed, back from 4.7 to 4.2, and then what also happened is Dark Fox 1 clipped the barrier, he bumped and slowed down GTP GTI as he tried to pass, and they both lost about 2 seconds on that. So John was able to capitalize on that, and now GTP also made a mistake, and John is hot on his tail within 1.1 seconds, and this young man can smell blood, especially with that incident lap 1, turn 1, before he actually settled. Very nerves concentrated there in the first lap, turn 1. Adrenaline always kicking in the first lap for TSM JDJ. So, like I said, with age, with wisdom, with experience, with leadership from Floris Diago's Pinnacle 74, and guidance with his team members in DMR, will definitely be able to start settling down with
quickly flip to them there, GTP, GTI, and TSM JDJ. I think they're right behind each other right now.
They are, in fact.
Looking really racy now, so great comeback here by TSM JDJ. Come to the first corner. Let's hope they don't have the same mistake they had on lap 1. TSM JDJ spinning out on lap 1, forcing him down back to 6th place. Making his way back up now to the pack here. You can see him about a second from GTP GTI.
Yes.
And GTP GTI now also.
Guys, we can also just jump to Mikhail. He's busy closing the gap on J-Dub. Down to 1.8 seconds, but he's got Travis at 0.2 hot on his tail. But I don't think Travis will try and push or battle him through the uphill anymore, or even downhill, to be quite honest, as they both are catching the leader. So I don't think, or they don't should, or they should not start battling in these sections. Just let them catch J-Dub and then try and go for P1.
100%. I think with 8 minutes left, which is roughly about 4 laps left of this race, Travis should withhold that monster from being released from that Subaru.
Mikhail pushing very, very hard here at the moment, making small mistakes, increasing the delta, decreasing the delta, increasing, decreasing. That's the thing about consistency with controller. You can't just get that rhythm. But J-Dub looks like he had a little aggressive hint into this corner. Actually worked out for him as his power slip there, yes.
Carl hitting the wall there. Travis not trying to take the advantage, as we see the Subaru and the
straight line speed won't work.
That GTR is just pulling away. But nonetheless, what we're seeing at the moment is that the GTR is very, very much on top of the timesheets in terms of Sector 1 and Sector... as we're seeing them rubbing here into the second last corner. That Subaru is now alongside the Skyline. These guys are losing time here, 3.1 seconds now to JW pace, but nonetheless giving us awesome content for this race tonight.
Very respectful driving as well. Follow each other through the uphills and downhills, yes. Massive battle happening.
100%. And as I was saying, this GTR is actually topping the timesheets right now in terms of Sector 1 and Sector 3.
Yes.
Whereas the Subaru and the Lamborghini is managing to just put them in Sector 2 on the hill.
Definitely, I see we focus on TSM JDJ at the moment, slightly falling behind the pace of GTP GTI, or GTP is actually catching Dark Fox 1 at the moment. I think he's starting to get the rhythm for it, as he's got the fastest sector there as well. John has made a small mistake in the last lap at 2:12.4, seeing him lose some time to GTP GTI and losing his slipstream, so he's never going to try and push. Dark Fox 1 is only hitting 2:12s the whole time. Anthony is doing 2:11s, almost spinning out on the outside there, so definitely should be good. Let's have a look again at Mikhail and Travis. Up front battle, they'll keep losing time to J-Dub, and then they gain it back again, lose time, gain it back, lose time, gain it back. But it is very difficult for two different setup cars, one handling one top speed, to assist each other.
100%.
Because one is going to be faster through one sector, you can't pull that car, and you can't slipstream through corners or bound through corners like you said. So Mikhail is going to have to carry the pace, or leave it to Travis to try and chase down J-Dub.
Yeah, and Travis is sticking on to Mikhail like white on rice, so he's definitely pushing. You can see he's losing a bit of time now. Mikhail obviously putting the gas on for the last 5 minutes of this race, but I think we can see Travis definitely make up that time again, still being in the slipstream.
For sure. Just to have a look at the consistency of J-Dub. 11.8, 11.1, 11.3, 11.3, 11.1. Super consistent. He's not pushing for that fastest lap time. He's not doing anything insane. He's not having a 2.13, 2.12, 2.11, then a sudden 2.10, and then a 2.12 again. Obviously, he's not battling like Mikhail and Travis, but consistency is going to work here. So I think the Pace Motorsports representative, if he keeps his consistency like we all know him and his cool head, this should be his for the taking.
100%. 4.5 minutes left, guys. Should get another 3 laps in. That gap now just dropping by half a second from Mikhail and JW. So the race is still on here. Should see some last lap magic.
If we can focus on Mr. Wolfman Willie for a lap or two. Pace, obviously, he is still a new driver. If we can quickly jump to his lap times, as you can see to the right, or maybe jump in dash cam or bumper view. What do you think the general things are for drivers that are new entering, and something small that you can, if you do it quickly, maybe a sector or two, that you can spot and identify immediately and saying, guys, this is what needs to be changed in order for you to gain another second or two?
So I think with Mr. Wolfman Willie, you can see that his times are quite consistent, which is actually quite trademark of a good racing driver. If you know your pace and are able to keep your times consistent, no matter what car you're driving, that definitely will help you out come a race. I mean, he's one of the drivers I think that hasn't had much of an off or spun, except for his lap 5 with the 216 lap. I believe he might have had a bit of an off, but nonetheless, he's managing to tame this Lambo around this track. And I think that's one. Being consistent is definitely key in terms of your race. And then secondly, you can see that he's sticking really well in terms of the lines of this track. If you can practice your lines and obviously be fast with those lines, you'll see that your times will definitely drop lap by lap. And again, you can see he's in a very good rhythm now. Doesn't really have to contend with much on track, but just enjoying it. And like Fluffy said in our interview with him, if you're having fun with this race, no matter where you're on track, you're definitely going to enjoy your racing.
Okay, perfect. So for gentlemen like him saying 214s, to get them into the 212s and 213s, especially on a track like this, you'd probably say try and push the limits of your braking markers or how fast you can accelerate, etc.
Correct. And also just practicing the track. I think it's one of the tracks that we don't race on very often. So yeah, pushing your braking markers, learning the track well, definitely will drop your time.
Beautiful, thanks a lot from our previous GDSSA champion and also very experienced driver, guys. So nothing much has changed. We've got JW in front with maintaining a 2.5 second gap. Mikhail and Travis having a battle. Travis obviously falling behind slightly in the straights, catching up in the handling corners, the top uphill and the downhill section. Dark Fox maintaining his gap as well. GTP Gita probably made a mistake again as he was catching up to Dark Fox. In fact, no, Dark Fox actually increased his lap times from consistent 212s to 211.7 and 211.1. So actually Dark Fox has maintained the pace or increased the pace in the last lap or two, and GTP keeps spinning out on that corner.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's got that corner all hooked up there. Just drifting around it at the moment. As you can see, TSM JDJ making
starting to find his pace, yes. He just had a 211.3 on his last lap, so he's obviously finding his rhythm, arriving and driving here. So there are still another 2 races left. Like I said, the top 4 or 5 per pool out of the 7 will definitely go to the semi-final. So you just need to stick it out for the next race or 2, place well, get a podium or 2 for the next 2 races, or even a top 4, and he'll definitely be able to work himself into that semi-final spot and then focus from there.
Correct. I think nonetheless the guys obviously pushing as hard as they can.
Always does.
Showing that giving up is not an option here for us. So big ups to him, man. And shout out Doc Fox. I think one of the guys that we haven't really made much mention of, other than for his livery, is definitely driving that clown off the car.
Yeah, definitely. Clown for Chatbox Cup was for last week. DeanoCantino Chatbox Cup. Absolutely awesome humor from him. He's always a keen guy to almost went slightly wide there, Mr. Dark Fox. Still gets off, managed to maintain and rescue it back on. How much time did he lose there? I'm not too sure. Not too much, about 2-3 seconds, yeah, so that's fine. Guys,
final lap. Now 1.8 seconds ahead of Mikhail. Mikhail closing that gap, and Travis right behind him. Dark Fox 1 on the final lap, and it looks like TSM JDJ has
just missed the cutoff.
His race has just missed the cutoff, finishing in 6th place. Wolfman Willie also then finishing in 7th place. But as we move again back to the leaders here, we're looking at Travis. He's now 0.6 behind Mikhail, so he's looking to do something towards the end of this race. And Mikhail 1.8 seconds.
Really pushed his last lap. Look at his last lap. Yes.
2:10.5. So he's absolutely on the limit right now, as well as Travis. I think he's not that far behind him, not doing too badly himself. He's 2:11. JOO pace just needs to keep it nice and clean and consistent, especially as he comes to Forest Elbow at the end there, comes up to the back straight. If he can manage to be within 1.6 seconds, I think he definitely has.
Guys, we can also just quickly focus on JOO's lap times, pace. Within 1 second, you'll see what I mean. What do you have to say about that?
Man, this is just the epitome of what Pace Motorsport is. Literally keeping it cool, calm, consistent. I mean, I think he's definitely could have dropped into the 211s, but I think as 210, sorry, but as a cool, calm racing driver, just keeping it nice and consistent, knowing and managing your pace and controlling the race. Really, really awesome stuff by him tonight.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Not even 0.4 tenths. 4 tenths within 10 laps. Absolutely phenomenal. So, all he did, like you said, manage the pace. His delta's dropping due to the fact that he's not pushing as hard. He's just keeping maintaining the speed rather. So it looks like JOO. What a fight! This is going to be a fight.
It's a dice to the end here. It's JOO running away with it in the last corner. Ooh, Travis trying to duck and dive like he's Danny Rick here.
He did go for the move, but he did also respectfully pull back on that as well. So P1, JOO, Mikhail, Travis, Dark Fox, himself and GTP also had an awesome race. Awesome battling. Beautiful stuff, guys. So there you have the results. JOO in first, Mikhail in second, Travis in third, Dark Fox in fourth, GTP in fifth. Sixth would be TSM JDJ. A lot to learn from this race, and the last race is for him. Still like I said, it's awesome, got the pace. And then number 7, Wolfman Willie, what a legend, just wants to have fun, drives a better, always a nice guy, always chats to me on WhatsApp privately, always up for a decent race, just wants to play and have fun. Awesome stuff from them. So let me just quickly save the replay, and then guys, I just had an error on my application. Ruan, quickly save the replay if you can, brother.
No, but big ups there to Mr. JOOR in the Hurricane. That Hurricane proving the king of this mountain in the past 2 races, with Fluffy Butt winning the first race and JOO Pace representing Pace Motorsports in first place there with his Hurricane. Mikhail 05 in second with his GTR. Travis in third with his WRX. Dark Fox 1 in fourth with his GTR. GTP GTI with his GTR in fifth. TSM JDJ in sixth. And Wolfman Willie in seventh. Well done to all our competitors.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And you nailed the partner from GTP GTI arrive and drive race, as well as together with TSM JDJ. I think JOO had the same. He didn't practice a lot, but he knows the car, he knows the place. So guys, I'm just happy. The host has just ended the game. My application gave an error. It just kicked me out. Luckily, we could have saved everything, so that's perfect.
100%. I think we are going to wait to hear from our race winner. If I'm not mistaken, JOO Pace will join the chat very shortly.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just going to quickly get that there. I see Kendall saying, tell Dino, TSMJ had all the rights to that first corner. I'm not disputing any rights with what corners whatsoever, but if you want to, not just him specifically, anyone, if you sometimes back off from a move, it can last you the whole race. Instead of trying to make a move in the race, sector 1 especially, whereby if you got the move, fine, go for it. But remember, cold tires, not going to have cold tires in this tire wear race, but in general, you're not there yet. The race hasn't formed yet. Not everybody's pressing. So you run the risk of what will happen that happened to him. So that's what I'm saying. He had the right to the corner, but then he messed up the next corner. So love the guy. He's part of my team. Yeah. He's your teammate. But that's just my opinion. I believe a lot of people will agree, and other people will say go for it. You get aggressive drivers, defensive drivers, And the thing is, with the more aggressive drivers, you run a bigger risk of things like that happening. So you can have inconsistent race results, but in the races that are going to work out for you being aggressive, you're going to smash the competition. So it's a give and take.
100%, 100%. And I think other than the turn two incident, the race was very clean. I think we saw a lot of respect amongst the guys in terms of the race and the overtakes. And I think it's just, again, picking and choosing the correct place to overtake and make your move.
Yeah, no, definitely. I completely agree with you. Like I said, it's always risk versus reward. Number one, do you want to break the slip in the first sector? Do you want to just fall back and try and make your moves when there's only 3 or 4 people in the train? Or do you want to try and make moves when there are 7 people in the train and 7 people are there to have incidents for, and you cause incidents as well? So different strokes for different folks. Each one has its rewards, but as you saw now, that is one thing that might happen for risk versus reward on that. If you made the move, made the push, you would have jumped from P6 all the way to P2-3, and it would have worked for him. So, but unfortunately, didn't.
100%. Other than that, guys, thanks for joining us. We're just waiting on Goniwe J-Shon, J-W.
He just joined the party on my side.
Okay, he's in the party, guys. If you have any questions for our race winner, please throw them in chat before we go off air. Mr. J-W Pace Motorsports P1. Please can you give us a snippet of the message you put in the chat box there? Screams in pure Gasly. Let's hear it.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. I was actually screaming like Mount Panorama is not like my favorite track. I actually had to rely on a cause to actually just that was like my bit of practice because I was using the Bentley and then I was just like, oh shoot, this is the chat box, and I'm like, what's the combo? Oh, what's happening? Like, hey, who's in the pool? Mikhail. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna target the podium, you know. And then when my game crashed, I'm just like, it's a sign. And then I got a lap in, I was like second. I'm like, maybe I'm meant to be second.
Talk us through that there, Goniwe. You mentioned Mikhail obviously going wide. I think that was lap 4 or 5. What is going through your mind there when you saw him go wide and then obviously taking that move to get past him?
I was shocked, because then the man had pace throughout, and then obviously Paul, I was like, I'm not gonna catch it here. And then my plan was to, take a gamble and jump him on the start, but the Lambo has a bit of a bog down when he gets going. And Trev went past me, and I'm just like, still a podium, And then both of them fight. I'm just like, okay, grabs popcorn, lap 1, lap 2, lap 3, and then
nice.
Until then, I think my car started to break away, and I'm like, okay, I need to pass Travis now. Made a bit of a mistake. I went past, and then the car just went wide. I'm like, what? You did that? And then I was just like, okay, thank you very much. I'll get going. And obviously through that, it was just like me trying to just keep composed, because I think it's the third coming downhill. That's like my weakest sector. I was like, okay. Because I always noticed Mikhail was always like he was always cruising like 410. So I'm like, this man's gonna catch me like anytime soon, because I kept on purpling the first and second sector. I was like, there's my strong points. Focus on that.
Great stuff. Great stuff. That Hurricane.
From there, it was just consistency, bring it home.
100%. I think you proved it with that Hurricane again this week, as we saw last week with Fluffy. But one of the questions in chat, shout out firstly, well done to Jay from Kendall Mauer. He was asking also, did you drive with your kid or your nephew on your lap again this evening?
What's the funny thing? Lap 6, she barged in the room, and I'm just like on the rig. I'm like, not right now. And then she was just like, can you please do this? Look at this. And then she actually put the phone in front of me. I'm like, yay! I'm about to crash. You give it in a second. And then she eventually left. I'm like, okay. By that time, I lost 16 to Mikhail. I'm like, okay, back in the game.
Okay.
Yeah, I almost bended. I almost sheeped.
But well done there. Well done to you, Mr. J. Double Pace P1 in our race
Well
number
done
2
to you, my
of
brother.
Chatbox Cup. And I think
Thanks,
we'll
gents.
definitely be seeing you again, or we'll be rooting for you again in the next race. Dino, I don't know if you have any details for the guys for the next races yet. Will they find that out in the Chatbox WhatsApp group?
Yeah, all the guys already know race number 2. They know race number 3 as well. So I made sure that everybody knows the races well in advance so they can prep. And all the controller guys can't give me any troubles or excuses like they already did. As the next race, I believe, is 14 times tire wear on Willow Springs, 16 laps with only FF cars.
Ooh, okay, interesting. We're gonna.
So we have a Sprint Master, Stratton Tire Saving Master, and then number 3 will be the Le Mans Cirque de la South with only V8 GR3 vehicles. So I'm having a Le Mans replica there. So it's going to be Sprint Race Master, Strat Master, and then normal standard driving racing master. So all 3 races have already been given to them. It's going to be quite awesome. Going to have fun. I think the 3 different race types will definitely make for an interesting choice to see the most diverse driver making to the semis.
100%. And guys, you can catch all that action next week, Monday at 8 p.m. The Chatbox Cup, race number 2, pool number 1. We're definitely going to be pulling out all the stops in terms of this race. So look out for that. Willow Springs GR4 FF cars, correct? With 14 times tire wear. Don't miss it, guys. And yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting. Mr. J. Pace, hearing that news, but what car do you think you'll be using next week? Or sorry, 2 weeks time?
I don't know, eh? I've never touched the RCZ, so I'll probably give it a try, but I can't desert my own faithful TT, so I might just do that.
Good. Don't give away too many secrets here, brother. Especially the way I know Pace Motorsports, they never divulge nothing.
It's all part of the plan, eh?
It's all part of the plan, and I think he's driven by that Sky Coffee, so well done to you tonight, brother.
Great stuff.
Plus I'm having a cup right now, eh?
Well done. Well done. Alright guys,
Awesome
thanks
stuff.
a million, J-Dub. Well done with your race. Mikhail, well done on yours. And then Travis, awesome stuff on your podium, brother. The rest of the guys, perfect. I'm seeing the Chatbox group is already flying with messages. So Ruan, awesome stuff yet again. In the background, running everything, making sure everything runs smoothly. Eskom, Tani. So that's the end of that sentence. So we love you all. Thanks a lot for viewing, guys. Make sure you click on the share button below. Please click on the share button and then select copy link and then send it to everyone. Let people subscribe. Let us have some fun. Ruan throwing me in the deep end and again putting the video on without a fair warning. I'm happy that I wasn't doing what I did about 30 seconds ago. Great stuff.
Cool,
so thanks for joining me, Pace, again. You want to run us through and finish it up?
Yeah, thanks for everything, guys. Don't forget, same time, same place, 7 p.m. Monday nights. It's GT Sport Chatbox, as well as 8 p.m. the GT Sport Chatbox Cup. Definitely more interesting next week. Don't forget, guys, as well, to like this video. Do subscribe to the channel so that you can see me driving a I Love DeanoCantino livery. Make sure we get to 225 subscribers, guys. Again, big shout out to Line Online Holdings for holding it down every week for us. Chatbox wouldn't look this pretty without our man in the background, Ruan van der Walt.
And obviously my face.
And Dino's pretty face, as we saw last week, and lovely hairstyle that we're seeing this week. Big shout out DeanoCantino. And yeah, guys, just keep supporting the channel, keep supporting the stream. And yeah, we'll see you again next week, guys.
Cool. Thanks a lot, guys. Much love. Cantino and Peso out.